everybody, it's Martin from the Washboard Resonators. This week's YouTube video is another guitar story, and this week it's about this incredible Edwardian harp guitar. Now, you don't see many guitars like this. We're going to find out what is a harp guitar, what is the history. We're also going to find out how the band One Direction sort of made me get this guitar. It's an interesting story, let's find out more. But first of all, if you're into old blues, old guitars, 1930s music, give us a subscribe, press the bell icon so you can get all the updates, and go to Facebook and Instagram, give us a like there. It's the biggest help in the world and really appreciated. Thank you. So for people that don't know, what is a harp guitar? There's been a good tradition of harp guitars. Essentially, it's a guitar with a normal 6-string neck like you might normally play. And then you have this second neck which has open bass strings. So you do see these kind of instruments in the lute family going back to probably the 15th, 16th century, this kind of idea. What we're looking at here really is something that came about in Germany and Europe largely through the Victorian era. The idea was that if you couldn't afford a full orchestra for your party in your big house, like for people to waltz, you could employ a small band. Maybe you couldn't get a piano into the building, so people had these guitars so they could play waltzes and do the bass accompaniment. So that gives a very basic taster of the kind of style that they were designed for. You see loads of really amazing modern people playing these now, doing tapping, and it's beyond me, but it's incredible. Check out some of the people that do harp guitar. So how did I come by this guitar? Well, it starts with my friend Annie. She's a singer and a musical theatre performer, and her mum has worked professionally as a specialist masseuse to musicians. For decades. She's been on tour with the Foo Fighters in their private jet to look after the band and all that kind of stuff. And I used to go and see Judy, Annie's mum, in Leeds. And talking to Judy one day, she said, hey, you know, I keep getting asked by all these managers at the top of the music tree, you know, people that dealt with people like Beyonce and stuff, like, does Annie have a demo, you know, because she looks good, and if she sings, you know, if she sings good, maybe we can kind of do something with her. So I helped Annie write a bunch of songs, and we demoed them as full demos with drums and guitars and keyboards and all that stuff. And then one of Judy's contacts came through. It was a music management company that's based near Manchester in Britain. So the company wanted to have a meeting with us and talk about what we're doing and what the demos were. So one of the representatives arranged to meet us in Manchester because he was dealing with the band One Direction at their arena gig. So we went to Manchester, he popped out of the arena, we went for a drink, we played him the demos, we talked about what the ideas were, and he offered us that day a deal. It was a kind of package development deal, but we left that kind of meeting and spoke to Judy on the phone, and we were very excited. And on the way back to the car, we passed Forsyths music shop in Manchester, a really great old music shop. And I just said, oh, I'll go in and have a look at what guitars they've got. And I went in, and this was on a stand. So I'd always wanted a harp guitar, especially a black Gibson one. But I saw this on the stand, and it was up for about £500. And I was so excited by the prospect of getting this deal that I was like, I have to have it. It's just so cool. So before I even said anything, I was talking to the staff there who knew some of them a little bit. And they said, oh, this belongs to one of the guys that works here. He's bought it and restored it and done it up. We'll get him on the phone. And they got him on the phone. And with that much prompting, they knocked it down to £375, which, as I filmed this in January 2020, yeah, it's probably about $500 or something. So it had a label on it, and it said it was definitely 1895 because of a body date inside, and that it was made in Vienna. So yeah, £375. It looks cool. I was like, I've got to have it. There was no case, I remember. So I remember they kind of wrapped it in kind of plastic bags, like shop plastic bags. And it didn't really hold it very well. So I ended up just walking through the streets of Manchester, strumming some songs, and people were just like pointing, going, huh, that's a weird guitar. And, you know, we were on kind of cloud nine. One of the other things I like about this guitar is it has, at the moment, nylon strings on it. And at the time, I was looking for a nylon string guitar. I didn't have one. So this does two tasks, really. It's a nylon string guitar, which is really nice. It's got a beautiful sound. When you play it, these bass strings ring sympathetically. It might not come across, but you get a really beautiful kind of ethereal, otherworldly kind of sound to it. The other beautiful thing, of course, is that you can do the bass thing. And if you're feeling fruity and you've had one too many sherries, you can use this sub bass neck as a kind of really bad fretless bass guitar. So there we go. It's a really cool instrument with, I think, a really nice story. And what's interesting about this guitar is this is usually with all my guitars here. Anybody who comes to stay at my house that isn't a guitar player, this is the one guitar they all single out and go, what the effing hell is that? Tell me what that is. They've never seen anything like it. A double neck that's Edwardian, Victorian. Ironically, it's probably one of my most least valuable guitars, but it's probably one of the most interesting. I'll tell you what happened about that development deal at the end of the video, but just before we finish, if you've enjoyed this, do like and subscribe, do go to Instagram and Facebook, do go and sign up for the mailing list on the website. It helps us massively. We're professional musicians, we're locked down during COVID as we film this. Anything you guys can do to comment, like, subscribe, it actually helps spread out what we do more, and it's really appreciated. Thank you. Regarding that development deal, here I am in my little house and not a mansion. Did it go anywhere? Not really. So we had quite a few meetings, we went to their studios, but what was interesting was you turn up at midday and all the people there would be drinking wine at their desks. And it was pretty obvious what was going on. Then one time we turned up and basically they're stripping all the equipment out of the studios, and that part of this record company, that part had been got rid of by the accountants because it was losing money. So the development deal fell through. But I still have this guitar and I still get to go and play with the Washboard Resonators, solo and Lisa D Stompers, make a living playing my guitar. What could be better?